Everybody, welcome back to 5 Rounds. John Ramdeen alongside Robin Black. And athletes are always trying to find the next interesting thing to improve performance inside of the cage. And our very own Robin Black traveled to Markham to work with a scientist who is doing exactly that, trying to help athletes.
Okay, I'm here with my physical therapist, Kevin. Now, we talk a lot on the show about training your brain and how important the brain is for fighters, how important it is for just about any athlete these days. So what is this thing and how does it work?
Well, you'll see the red targets down here. So in this machine, we're going to set up the first run, whereas a red light will come on. As soon as you see the red light come on, you've got to turn it off, and then that triggers another light to come on. So you're going to chase red lights all over the board. It's the recognition that a punch is coming at a player or a fighter that they have to react to.
And so this thing, you're going to measure how quickly I do that now, and you're through a series of challenges over weeks and months and maybe years, you're going to teach my brain to make that action happen quicker.
Right. So you're going to be staring straight at that screen in the center.
Okay.
Right hand does right hand side of the board, left does left. So you're going to be in your fighting position. I like you so you know where you're going to react to. So we like to make it sport specific, so in your fighting mode. Okay? Here we go. So it's going to count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. As soon as you hit a red light, use your fingers only. First thing, it helps improve the quality of the information coming to your eyes. Brain decisions are based on information coming in. The better the information I can collect, the better I can make a brain decision and have a physical response. The next thing is, once I get all that information in the brain, I'm having a long time trying to process what it actually means. So the D2 actually teaches us to speed up that process.
I can't kick this thing?
No.
Just fingers.
What we like to see in players is their peripheral awareness. If I'm looking at you, or am I aware of things over here? Wayne Gretzky is a great example. He could be looking at you and pass to peeking in on the wing without looking. So he had great awareness out there. So the D2 will expand your peripheral awareness, so you can see things out there that might be a little vague. Because you're struggling with the things on the outside, which is your peripheral awareness.
Peripheral vision, right?
Right, so straight ahead you're pretty good, but something comes from your outside, from your periphery forward, you're going to have trouble picking it up. So you can see at the top, on the top here, you had 66 targets in a minute. What we also see in here is by quadrants. We could tell that your lower right quadrant was your slowest hand. So if I was going to fight you,
Yeah, throw liver shots.
you get low shot to the right. That's your weakest area. Whereas your fastest area is left upper, which is your block.
Yeah, my jab.
So that's the fastest. So I now can design a program that forces you to go to right lower.
Nice.
Because why would I make that faster and have this deteriorate?
Right.
So if I'm customizing a program for you, Robin, I now can designate what quadrants I want you to work in. And then we make the game a little bit harder, because we know that when you're playing pond hockey or just goofing around the ring, anybody can punch anybody. So what the D2 is actually teaching you to think faster. And if you can come to a decision quicker, then your counterpunch will come out quicker. So that's what I'm looking for. When I'm training an MMA athlete, I want them to think faster so they can punch faster. And that's what the D2 does.
Robin, I have a feeling that Keith Hackney and Ron Van Cleef did not have this type of technology back in the old days, the Ultimate Fighting Championship. We're seeing, obviously, the technology and scientists are investing time in mixed martial arts and their athletes. But a program like this, who has access to this?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the trick, right? The better an athlete becomes, the more money he makes, the ability he increases for him to go out and explore some of these things and pay to be able to access it. Basically, money talks. So the better a guy gets, at George St. Pierre's level, when he was training, he's the type of guy who'd go out and look for anything that's going to increase his performance. There's old school guys who would look at that and just go, what are you doing, running around pressing red dots? But somewhere in the middle is that knowledge that science can assist you in human performance and increase human performance. And there's a lot of guys looking for any opportunity to get better and get an edge.
You and I were recently in Michigan, and Uriah Faber had his MMA combine, and a lot of these athletes there were being tested using equipment that they've never been tested before, testing their speed and their athletic abilities. And I think that's the way that mixed martial arts is moving, and eventually we're going to see this type of testing kind of across the board.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is interesting when you saw Uriah why are you using all that kind of stuff? He got a lot of it from football. The NFL is a huge money corporation, a huge money machine, and they have the money to go and look at that kind of research and study it. And then, so he took that and brings it over to MMA. And that's the same kind of thing. You look at something like this D2 machine, guys, all the time, one of the biggest cliches you ever hear is fighting is 90% mental. Well, let's just say that's true. Then why are we spending 95% of the time training physical when the most important thing is getting untrained?
I think Tim Sylvia said 50% of mixed martial arts is 90% mental.
Yeah,
I think he said
half
something.
the time. Yeah,
half the time.
I know.
When you did this, the testing, it says that obviously you needed some work in the lower right-hand side. Is that something specific that you can work on to increase that? Is that what athletes take from that? They say, okay, I need to increase speed here. I need to increase awareness there. Did the docs tell you how you could fix things, how you could help your game?
Yeah, in fact, I'm going to go on. Wei and I are going to go out there and we're going to track it a little bit. So I'm going to go out a couple times a week and see how that changes, because what they do is give you tougher and tougher assignments. Just in the time we were there, my reaction time went from 0.96 seconds to be able to process it to 0.66. So you could see the improvement. But I get hit a lot to the body when I'm sparring. I really do. So you take the combination of maybe my reaction time to that side is a little bit lower, plus I keep my elbow flared out, I get smashed to the body. You don't want that to happen when you're sparring, so you go and you work on that.
And who are the guys that are developing this? Are they fans of the sport, or do they just see that there's a need for safety in mixed martial arts and that MMA isn't going anywhere, so if you can't beat them, join them?
Well, fascinatingly, the way we ended up at the Honsberger Clinic was because we were talking about concussions. And they go and they get a starting point for you, understand how quickly you move, and then if and when you get concussed, they'll keep training you till you get back to that level as a way to know that your brain is healed.
And when we come back to 5 rounds, we tell you some of our favorite moments over the last